back, everyone, to our Groundskeeper Chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger, and this is one of my favorite parts. We did this for the first time last year. Rush hour, speed dating, happy hour, whatever you want to call it. But for the next hour, Mr. Pete Thibeault and I are going to be interviewing guests, give them a 5-minute time slot to tell us a little bit about themselves, and then move right on to the next one. It's going to be, fast, fun, freaky.
We'll get it going.
So, Pete, give us your quick little elevator pitch. Tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to introduce our first guest.
So my name's Pete Thibeault. I work at the Noble and Greeno School just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I've been there a little over 25 years. We manage 30 acres of natural grass athletic fields with one synthetic field. As far as my professional world, that's about where I stand.
Yep, and you were in our second class of Pioneers in the Field. But you really are in a class all of your own, sir.
They say.
You are the best. You're the friendliest. And once you know Pete, you love him. It's the truth.
Once you know him.
Once you know him, you love him.
Sometimes I'm running.
That's right. So our first guest is Crystal
Rose Fricker.
I almost said Fraser because Melanie.
That's true.
It's a synonymous term in my mind.
True.
But you are one of the pure seed. I would say the pure seed chick. Kelly kind of stole it, the Twitter handle, but I would say you're the OG.
Yeah, I'm the first.
She's the first of the first, and so you're one of 3 breeders for your company. Give us that elevator pitch, that background to your story.
Okay. Well, we just celebrated 50 years in research at Pure Seed Testing. My father, Bill Rose, started our businesses, and I run the research company and have another breeder, Dr. Melody Fraser in North Carolina, and my son, Austin Fricker, is doing breeding work with us. We do warm season, cool season grasses, turf, and forage. And we also have a company that I run called Pure Seed, which is a wholesale marketing production company where we produce all those species with growers and then ship that seed to 50 countries around the world.
Very cool.
Wow.
And Pete and I were talking, he was sharing with me, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, but he was like, my wedding day was that tipping point where you're like, you go all in. Like, it's your now or never. But when was that for you, kind of when you're like, I'm going to do this family business thing? Like, I'm going to follow in these footsteps. What was that tipping point like for you where you're like, I'm in? Like,
well, I was in college and my dad's like, I was going to be an accountant.
Okay.
My dad's like, I grew up working on the research farm for Dr. Bill Meyer. He's like, you don't want to work inside. You want to be outside. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. And I switched to Oregon State and got a master's in plant breeding and genetics and got offered a job when I got out working for a flower breeder. But my heart was with my family, and so went back and worked under Dr. Bill Meyer. And then when he transferred to Rutgers in the 90s, I took over.
I love it.
Wow.
And so it's your dad, then you, and now you've got your son and your daughter in the biz.
Yes.
And then they had 2 grandbabies born within 6 weeks of each other, who I hope they're going to be the 4th gen.
They could. Yeah, they very well could.
I love that. And really, it's rooted in family. And one of my favorite elements of Pete's story is that he works at the school that both of his kids go to. And just getting to be ingrained in that community and,
Yeah, it's pretty awesome just to, your family's around you all the time. And those good moments, those bad moments, everybody's there for you.
Definitely.
It's pretty awesome.
Especially in an industry where, one of the negatives could be that you're away from your family a lot. Mm-hmm. So you both have kind of have that hack where it's like you're bringing them along with you. They're ingrained in the industry.
Yeah, I took my kids out to the research farm on Saturdays, and my son was out there helping select rust-resistant plants when he was just a little kid, and he got hooked, I think.
I love it.
My daughter was a professional track athlete and going to be a teacher, and then she couldn't do her student teaching, so she was working on marketing in the business, and she's like, I just really love this.
Yep.
And so she knew what it was, and so she's now full-time helping us with marketing, and also she's really good with people, so the HR element of our business.
I love it.
But I do think family is important, and a lot of our businesses in this industry have a lot of multiple generations. And if we don't have that, it's in-laws and things that are working in the business, and the relationships that we develop is kind of how we do a lot of our business.
Well, yeah. And I will say, like, the turf industry is just one big family tree.
Truly is.
Pete comes up on like so many of them. I categorize you in the same place with so many of the other people who have had long legacies in this industry. But you know, what are one of the elements that kept you in the industry?
So I think the constant change and the fact that every day is a new day.
Yeah.
No matter how great it is, it's really never been the same day as the day before. And to always have that opportunity to rely on past experiences, but to have that great new opportunity every day is truly amazing.
Definitely.
And right when you start to get tired of a situation, like especially in New England, the sports seasons change.
Yeah.
So right when it starts to wear on you, it's time for the next. And it's kept me fresh.
Definitely.
And plus, like when I'm working on the baseball field and I look up and I see a castle, like you think about all the people that have been through that building and through the property, and it just kind of brings me to a different place too.
I love it.
It's a pretty beautiful property you have there.
It's unique. Yeah,
I'm making it out there April 3rd. Mark your calendars.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
We'll clear a spot at the table at the castle for
That's
you.
right. And
Nice.
June 18th. That's your field day.
June 19th.
June 19th.
June 19th.
That's
Yes.
now on my radar.
Yes,
As,
in Oregon. We
Ooh.
rotate between North Carolina and Oregon. It's going to be in Oregon. And that's kind of, you know, I love to work outside.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beauty. We get seasons. We get to work outside. Breeding grasses, you're in the rain a bit in the spring. But the other part of this business I learned is the people. And in our industry, we're kind of in a bubble. And I feel like times are changing. And agriculture and turf grasses, forage grasses are all very important. And we need to really get that message out there about what we do, why we do it, and the benefits that grass brings to the world. Because people kind of want to know that. They want a feel-good story about grass. And so I'm always looking for ways to kind of get that message out there.
Well, I'm lucky enough I get to work with our environmental studies class a couple times a year too, and it's kind of refreshing to see them out performing, you know, compaction tests on the field, moisture, you know, read the things that I do on a daily, and their excitement as to, oh man, we had no idea. We just thought it was grass.
Yeah.
And then the more respect that they have, and then it spreads through the school, and it's nothing that I'm doing intentionally, but like our class has grown and the kids' inquiry has grown, and
I love it.
sometimes I have to walk away from the questions because I might not have the real answer for them.
That's awesome. We have something in Oregon that the farmers' wives started. It's called Adopt a Farmer and AgLink. And we raise money to bus kids from the city schools out to visit farms. And in this case, they visit our research farm.
Oh, wow.
We had like 200 sixth graders this last year.
So
I went in
cool.
the class, and, you know, we in the gymnasium and had a really good event that we did with them in the gymnasium, had some relays and gave a presentation, showed our grass on the World Cup and the Ryder Cup and things like that. But when they came out to the farm, you know, there was a core group of kids that were really into it. Like they were like listening, paying attention. Then there were some kids who just rolling on the grass. They just didn't get to get outside
kids.
much. Yeah,
I love it.
They're just like rolling on the grass. And I mean, that's good too.
I
Get them
love it.
outside.
I love it. Well, I know you got a flight to catch, so I
Yes.
appreciate you jumping on, kicking off our speed dating round here. And what's really cool is we talked about family, and now we're going to welcome a father and son duo.
Perfect.
So Matt Duncan, he worked at a field for a long time, and then he actually, his son, who's 17 years old, he passed it along to him. So he's his son is 17 years old, and he's a head groundskeeper right now.
Wow.
Isn't
that's
that incredible?
awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
So I'm very
Very
excited
cool.
to talk to them and keep that family theme rolling. But thank you very much, friend, for joining
All right.
us.
Thank
and we
you all.
we got so much good quality time together this
We
this
did.
year.
It's a
it was
miracle.
wonderful. So thank you.
Okay.
All righty. All right. So keeping right in theme, Pete and I were just talking to Crystal Rose Frichter, and she has 3 generations on her seed farm now. So she was the second, and her son is now the 3rd generation of breeders. They are now breeding the 4th generation. Awesome. They're all having grandkids. But I was like, what perfect way to segue into a duo of generational groundskeeping. Matt Duncan and his son, Conor. And Conor, you're already making waves out there. Your name has been floating around. How cool is that?
He thought I was joking with him.
I know, seriously. Like, I knew Matt was like, yeah, my son's here. I'm like, dude, I've heard about Conor. Like, people are so excited for you and how incredible this story is. So I guess I'll let you guys take it away and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how we go from dad to 17-year-old as a head groundskeeper.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. I worked 17 years in minor league baseball.
Yep.
And Conor was born. I was in Akron with the Akron Arrows, now the Rubber Ducks. And so since the time he was born, I would bring him to the ballpark. His mom would bring him over. And then he was old enough. I left there when he was probably 3. So for the first 3 years, he grew up in the dugout.
Yeah.
And he would help me and just love being around it. And then I would start taking him everywhere with me. When I left Akron, I got into sales. Took him all over Ohio with me, all over Pennsylvania. We did the Little League World Series together.
Yeah, you tell me about that.
Went to Penn State together. We would do everything together. And he was my sidekick. And we did the ACC tournament in Louisville. We did everything. So he's grown up around it. And I never intended for him to, I never thought he would ever actually want to get into it. But I just loved spending that quality time with him and taking him everywhere with me. And it's been a pleasure to watch him grow up and get a passion for it on his own. And the opportunity he has now is tremendous, and I'm so proud of him and excited for him.
So Conor, tell us a little bit about this opportunity, how it came about, and how as a 17-year-old you're gonna run a field this upcoming spring.
So, growing up, I always traveled with my dad, as he said, and I started working at the local semi-pro baseball field near us, and I'm going on my 5th season here.
Okay. No way.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have been with the Scrappers for 5 seasons already?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Were you that's child labor? Child labor laws.
Well,
no, his dad did it.
Okay.
Volunteer.
His dad did it to him.
Oh my gosh. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So I never expected to go in this. I originally wanted to go into aerospace engineering.
Okay.
As a career, because I always interested, and my dad's uncle was in that field, and I've always been very interested in space. But just working at the Scrappers made me realize how much gratuity you get from watching these high level almost these guys are very high level college players who are looking to get drafted, or they didn't get drafted and they have no more eligibility and they're just trying to get signed or still play baseball. It's very high level baseball still being played here, and watching some of the highest level competition played on your work and them thriving on it.
You were sold.
No better feeling, and
That's such a great feeling.
Yeah. But once I go to Ohio State in the fall, I kind of want to dip my toes into the research aspect of it.
Okay.
Because I find researching stuff very, very interesting. It's always if I find something I'm really niche and I go deep into this, I always do that. But this upcoming season, I'm still in high school, so I'm one of the top people in my grade. I'm ranked 22nd, I think.
Okay.
And I have a lot of my credits already done. I think I'm already able to graduate, but I only have one high school class. The rest are college credit classes that are I get to leave at noon. So it's 3 hours early than everyone else. So I'll just go from school to the Scrappers field, prepare for if there's a high school game, YSU practice, Penn State Shenango practice, whatever was happening that day. And then go to my high school baseball practice or game or whatever.
Goodness.
And if it's a practice, I'll probably go back after to but if it's a game, I'm out of luck.
You're getting paid now, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just to clarify. But talk about work ethic. Oh my gosh.
That's what I was just going to congratulate. Wow.
That's incredible.
Man, you did a good job.
I know. As a parent, how do you do you guys are further into it than I am. I've got an almost 5-year-old, but does that come from just leading by example, or how do you instill that work ethic?
Well, I think with him traveling with me so much, he's gotten to see so many groundskeepers from every level.
Yeah.
And I think we all have a bad habit of working too hard and working too many hours, and it, he saw that, and good or bad, I tried to be as much as I could when I was in baseball.
Yeah.
I tried not to miss many things, but there are certain things you can't avoid. But I think and his mom was a very hard worker. She's a school teacher, but she's also instilled in him the importance of working hard.
Yeah.
And when he told me that he wanted to major in turf grass and go to Ohio State, and it's what he wanted to do, the first thing he said to me was, you've taught me the importance of working hard and the importance of building a strong network of people.
Yeah.
So that's why I immediately thought,
Yeah.
At age 17.
when he got
Crazy.
accepted to Ohio State, I'm like, well, I have to bring you to this conference because there's no better place to meet people than here. And I'm so proud of how he's interacted with people, the way he's carried himself here. And
I mean, look at him. This guy's the best. Oh my gosh.
so it's been so fun, and I couldn't be prouder of him. But
Truly.
just so fun to watch him just explore what this conference has. He's gone to every class that he could, and he's just the way he's talking to people at the show.
Yeah, and you'll see, Meg, as you'll get older, like it comes a point where it's like, okay, he's getting to be an adult. Let's just kind of guide him through the adult path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when my guys are at that stage now, it's kind of exciting to sit back sometimes and watch it.
And how much of it is just like fanning the fire of the things that you see them get passionate about?
I think that's the exact term.
Yeah.
You gotta find what they're passionate about and ignite it.
And just support it and encourage it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, mentorship is such a huge element of this industry. And we all anytime, that's one of my main questions is like, who's your mentor, shout out. And the fact that it's your dad, I mean, how cool is that, dude?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that, look up to my dad in this career. I mean, there's Chris Mason, Chris Walsh. There's so many people that just accredit their career, like him helping out. I mean, even Weston Applefeller.
Yeah.
I know, it's a tongue twister, that one.
Right?
Working with FIFA now.
Yeah.
I mean, he accredits my dad to helping him jumpstart his career so much. I mean, just having those connections already just because my last name is Duncan. I mean,
I love it.
No,
Your
it's not
legacy,
just
look at
because.
that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
love
strange
it.
to hear that.
Yeah.
It's hard to take a lot of that. I go out of my way to help people.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm doing anything special for anybody. I care for people, and I want people to be successful. And especially him. I'm going to try to open any door that I can, but I tell him I can only open doors. It's up to you to walk in those doors and to make a name for yourself. And he's definitely doing that. And I think this show, like you said, people are talking about him, and I'm proud of him for. Even Wayne Ward came up to me and said, how impressed he was with him. And people
So
like that,
cool.
like I've looked up to Wayne. I looked up to Wayne for a long time when I was in groundskeeping. So, there's so many people that were mentors to me that he's now meeting too, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's such a tough question to try and nail it down to one person that shaped your position. Like, there's just so many people that touch your days.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, so one more question for you. What are you looking forward to most in the 2025 season? Like, are you just looking to get through it, or what's your main goal going into this season?
so my main goal this season is, honestly, I want to get through it as best as I could, but I wanted to make the field look as best as I can for as long as I can. Like right now, I'm thinking about changing to I'll forget what color. I'm changing the infield color, or I'm going to try to at least to make the uniforms pop more. I'm gonna do design differences and stuff like that. Try and do a little more art. Like at the Scrappers last season under Noah, I did a lot of the artwork for it.
Okay.
And last year he even had me repaint the logos and stuff. So I have that experience already under it. But I want to do more like what they did at the SEC tournament with the saluting soldier. I want to try and do that maybe for 4th of July and just add some more
Very cool.
detailed oriented stuff to maybe make it stand out a little more.
So cool.
So
I mean, we don't got to worry about this guy, I don't
No
think.
way.
He's on his way.
We need him to start writing that book.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on.
Oh, thank you.
And let me grab a picture of you two before you jump away.
Right.
But what a cool story.
Well, I appreciate
And I'm
you.
going to come out and make sure that I get some cool footage of you this year
Right.
because I'm Ohio HQ, so
Yeah.
we'll be able to catch that. All right, we're right back with our next groundskeeper duo. These are two proud members of the Neilsen Mafia that we have joining us, Mr. Todd Shafer and Eric Harshman. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Peg.
Appreciate
Peg. Meg, happy to be here.
Get it right.
Screwed
We're
up
all
already.
having fun. We're all having fun.
And Pete is still here. He's helping me hold down the fort. I think you've got a career in co-hosting the Groundskeeper Chat
If
series.
you need me, I'm here. You know,
know?
I'm that type of person, man. Wherever I can find a
We are
find a
just
need.
finding a way to get you on payroll any way we can. We want the Pete Thibeault effect.
You know it.
He's not going to say no.
Yeah, you know it.
Ain't that the
It's
truth?
not part of my vocabulary.
There you go.
I love it. And I really have weaseled my way into making you do so many things
You
for
have.
for our content series.
You still owe me.
All right.
Todd was one of our first ever pioneers in the field.
All right.
He came on my radar. I think it was like I don't even remember Fields of Excellence application, maybe.
Might be.
Where I read your story and it was like I retired and then I somehow ended up working at this baseball, stadium, and now he runs the joint.
Yeah.
And were you guys ever on the same crew at the same time?
No, we
Okay.
weren't. We
I
were
worked
out-
with Eric over in Lexington some,
Yeah.
but
But I was there. I was in Louisville from 06 to 11.
Okay.
And then I went down to LSU.
Okay, very cool.
Forever, I've been trying to get there too, though.
And to LSU or
No,
to Neilsen
Neilsen
Mafia?
Mafia.
I love it. I love
You're an
it.
honorary member.
Yeah.
Well, really, and Eric, remind me, you just made a big move, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess so. About 18 months ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you were on a university side, and now where are you now?
So I work for SSC Services for Education.
Okay.
And we're a big management group, K-12, higher education. We do the grounds component, right? So
Okay.
a lot of consulting, sales, face-to-face interaction with the client. Don't even look at me. I knew you were waiting to say something.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so it's a lot of consulting. It's a lot of it's fun. It's different. It was definitely out of my comfort zone.
Yep.
Get me out there doing new things, but it's enjoyable.
I love it.
Yeah.
And Todd, tell us a little bit give us an update on when are you ever going to leave, man?
Probably 3 years.
You were supposed to retire 15 years ago.
Well,
I think
did.
the bigger
I
question
did.
is what's his definition of retirement?
He'll find something.
I am
else.
basically in retirement. I've told you 100 times, this is not a job. It's a
Yeah.
hobby.
Yeah.
And I figure if I can get paid for my hobby, why not?
Yep.
What
Yeah,
a beautiful outlook.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love going to work. Love being around my kids. I call them my crew, and I love Slugger Field. So it's awesome. Still,
That just fills
Can't
my
wait to
cup.
go.
Your
Yep.
positivity
Yep.
on it is just so refreshing.
yeah. And then you got weirdos like him that you get to mess with and everything, and it just makes it that much more fun. So
See, and that's the best part about our industry is you can take a jab, you got to give a jab.
Dude, do not go far. You're
Yeah.
on the mic next.
Oh, come on, hot
We
mic.
gotta get some Pete Thibeault and Ryan Bajorn flavor.
Hot mic
just duking it out.
I love
Yeah.
it.
all day long. What a great
grieve our
crowd.
differences. But no, and Pete has been with his post for 25 years, you
Yeah.
said.
wow, nice.
And, the legacy that you've created out there. And, you were saying what brings you back every day is the difference in the job every day. But really, I think you've also attributed a lot of beauty to this industry is that camaraderie, the
Yeah.
crew, the elements of that where it's like people just love to come into work and do their thing.
Yep.
And you two are both people in my mind that you're passionate about the task at hand, but also more so about the people.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Tom Neilsen taught us.
Yep.
It's more about the people than it is
It is.
the work or the players or anything like that. It's about our kids.
Yeah.
And it's
Guys.
crazy too. So I'm sitting here at this table with Pete right here. He's actually one of the first people that Tom introduced me to
Really?
all
Yeah.
those years ago. I think
Tom
it
was
back
the
in
first person I met.
07,
Really?
08.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to tell that story. So wait, how did you meet Tom?
So I think my first conference was 2001.
Okay.
And back then, if you were a first time attendee, you didn't have a strip. It was a green dot.
Okay.
So only the people who had been here before knew about the green dot. The new person didn't.
okay.
So like,
We've marked you.
so I was on the bus tour, and Tom had sat down right next to me and befriended me. Like I'm sure you guys can only imagine.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And he shared with me some wisdom that I'm trying to pass along.
Yeah.
Like this is such a great group of people, and to meet at least 2 new people every year. it's not a bad place to be. And unfortunately, I've been here 22 years, and I don't think the 2 people is what I stuck to. There's hundreds.
I love that.
Hundreds, and there's such a group, such a great group. And I tell my wife and everybody else that in this industry, we all have the same mentality.
Speaking of Neilsen Mafia.
There it is.
There he is. He's a big leader right
Yeah,
there.
he is.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like,
you guys can't probably walk 3 feet without, touching Neilsen
oh, and this
Mafia.
is like a big high school
One of-
reunion.
One of the hardest things to do is walking the trade show floor with Tom because you get 10 feet in, and that may be as far as you go the rest of the time because people just always gravitated to him, right?
Yeah.
My
His
first trip to
personality
first trip to OTF was walking in the door. Jim Tressel was speaking that year, and I wanted to go see him. So I walk in with Tom, exactly 10 feet surrounded.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, Tom, I'm going to listen to Tressel talk. Came back out after his talk, and Tom had not moved.
I love it.
Still there. And,
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think the last time I really sat down and really talked to both of you is we did that tribute video for Tom for the Neilsen Mafia, and I got to hear both of your stories. Give us an update on our old pal.
I'm actually going to see him
Nice.
Friday.
Oh, wow.
I leave
goodness.
here flying to beautiful downtown Moscow, Idaho. It's real warm up there, I'm sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm going to spend the weekend with him, and so he just texted me a little bit ago about got our whole plans made.
Of course he does.
Oh, yeah.
Cooking
of
a
course he
pork
does.
butt
That is
and going
so
to basketball.
sweet.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen him since he left.
Oh my God.
We talk 3 or 4 times a week probably, but
Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, but no, he's doing great, loving it up there.
I
Loving it
love
up there.
that.
Yep.
And what are your big goals for 2025, Todd? What's going to be happening at Slugger Field? What are you looking to accomplish?
Just having another decent year is good enough for me. We had a great year last year. Hopefully things work. There's talk. We're supposed to get a brand new field at the end of this season.
Okay.
Not sure if it's going to happen, but that's the talk because our
How old is that field?
25 years,
Right?
Yeah, we just that last season was our 25th anniversary, and so
Tom did
26
too good
now.
of a job. Should have been replaced 2 or 3 times by now.
Oh yeah, and the sod is was put in my first year in 13.
Okay.
So it's overaged, like me.
Yeah, I live it too.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that new challenge. Hopefully it happens. We'll see.
Yep.
But no, other than that, we've got some new equipment coming in, so that's a big plus that make my job a tad easier. So
Yep.
a little less maintenance on 20, 25-year-old equipment.
Yep.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So
I'm kind of hoping Mother Nature will be nicer.
whoa, boy, that'd be nice.
She's
That'd
been
be
really
nice.
Rough.
unfair.
Yeah, I just about said something that I probably shouldn't say, so I'm going to shut up. But
Well, what are you looking forward to 2025, Pete?
2025?
I haven't asked you that yet.
I think the biggest thing I'm looking for is maybe to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I'm getting better about sitting back and enjoying the moment and kind of reflecting on all those things. But there's times where I'm just too immersed.
Yeah.
And I think for me, in my own mental health, I kind of need to try and take a little bit of a step back a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yep.
Not a lot, but my kids are older now. I'm kind of not rushing around as so much with them, and the campus is really nice.
Yeah.
Everything's really in a good place, and with anything that you've been there for a long time, you almost can predict things.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten to a point where our management has gotten better. Everything's starting to flow a lot nicer, and I want to try.
Yep. I
We're
love
gonna try.
that.
We're gonna try.
We'll hold you accountable. I'll be out there in April and I'll ask you how that's going.
And it won't be. I'm stressed out the same as I always am, because that's autopilot.
Yep. I hear you. Well, I had, Stephen Lord and Ryan DeMay join me for a talk, and how difficult it can sometimes be to be self-aware of where you're at in that mental health, or just taking a glimpse at am I happy doing this anymore? What really helped you in making that change? Because you're working at the university level now, you're on the other side of it, and you've got a beautiful family. I'm sure you're getting to hopefully spend more time.
Absolutely.
And what did that look like? Tapping into that self-awareness to be this is the right move for me.
It's just I love what I do. Right. I absolutely love it. But it comes a time you can only do so much, and I've got 3 amazing kids at home that I want to spend more time with, and that's my biggest priority. Was that right there, working in D1 college athletics or just athletics in general, whether it's pro, whatever it is. I'm actually home more now with my crazy travel schedule than I ever was when I did that. So having that ability to do that and not miss out on all those little things. And when I get home, it's 100% dad mode, right? I leave the stuff and I just, whatever I've got to do, it's going to be there Monday, right? Wherever I go, it's going to be there Monday. So I just pick up from right there. But yeah, when I get home, like I've already got my weekend planned out. I got birthday parties and volleyball tournaments and basketball games. I mean, it's a busy weekend for me, but yeah, it's worth it. It's worth every second of it. And that's the biggest thing for me. Yeah.
It is tough to keep that balance and keep in check with it. Like, I just got texted Disney on Ice photos because I bought tickets for like front row Disney on Ice photos and not realizing that conference was this week because I think it's moved up a week or something.
Earlier,
So, it's so tough to navigate that balance, like, because you're always missing something. Like, whether it's, if I wasn't here, I'd be missing it terribly as well. So it is tough, but having people in the industry that you can call upon that are in those same shoes and talk you through it and hopefully help you make those big decisions is,
And even one of the coolest things too is even if you're traveling around, like, you can always find a friend, like one thing I've always been good at with my family is that I always try to find like somebody I know from here, wherever I am, whether it be that we go to their facility or we just kind of hook up for a minute. I always try to do that, just because it's not often that you get those opportunities, and it always is such a great group of people here.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
And I have more of those opportunities now with my traveling. I'll go and I'll just I may have not ever met the person, but I'll give them a call and be like, hey, I'm in town. I'd really come see your facility. And like you said, Pete, it's like family reunion, right? So it's awesome. I've never not been said, no, you can't come. Right? Everyone always welcomes each other with open arms. So that, again, that's just, I think that's the industry that we're in, but I think a lot of it too just goes back to being part of the Neilsen Mafia. That's how Tom just.
There's a lot of them. I don't know how many there are.
Wow. Was there ever a number put on that?
Yeah, 60 some.
Wow.
That have gone on to head groundskeeper jobs or maybe assistants, but I think most of them are head grounds.
So does he have like a tuition that he charges you guys, or is it a lifetime
Occasionally
membership?
we have to buy beer, but
well, he did make you guys run like several miles a day. So
not me. Not me. No,
he never got into that.
That was my next question.
I did bike with him a few times, but never run. So.
I love it.
If you see him running, you better run too.
Yeah, because something's chasing me.
And all you got to do is run faster than Todd.
And that's easy to do.
That's it.
I
can barely run from here to the machine over there. So
well, I will say, Todd, I don't know if it was the beer or if you have just become cool, calm, collected in front of on
thousands of people.
I know.
I've done a few talks, so I've gotten more used to it. So.
I will say, Todd was my first SFMA. I pulled him out into the hallway, put you on camera, was asking questions. And we both were like, that was our first time. We both were nervous. And so to sit here with you today, that's how cool. 6 years later. And I will say you and Pete, you guys are like pillars at the start of my career that have just anytime I've said, can you do something for me? You guys have shown up and I really appreciate that.
But I think that's our industry too.
100%. Yeah, I've never gotten
as much as we don't want to.
As much as this girl keeps bothering us.
We just try to get her quiet. So
we'll talk if you stop.
Just make it stop.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you having us. It's great to see you.